Hello, you beautiful people out there. What is going on? This is your friend Britik coming at you fast with another Britik's build, and today we are going to be looking at Steel. This build has helped me get him to Master Steel as of late, and I have been using this build against Platinums and Diamonds, and it's pretty fucking killer, especially with this current meta. So let's get right into it. Shall we? Oh my god, where the fuck are the decks? Feel the steel. That's what I yell every time I land an ultimate. I'm just like, feel the steel. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Alright, so anyway. We're gonna do this real Long John style, okay? We're gonna start off with a health pot. We're gonna start off with a health token, and then we're either gonna do a mana pot or a Harv key. Or, if we want to get real fancy, as I don't know why I have two health pots, we can also do a strike token. Where the hell that motherfucker be at? Where the hell? Oh, it's in the equipments. That's right. LOL. Okay. So, you can do a couple of things depending on what you want to do. You can start with a health pot, health token, and strike token. That helps a lot in the early game for sure, especially if you're just going to be supporting in lane. If you're going to be soloing in lane for whatever reason as Steel, then you probably want a mana pot because the shield charge does a good amount of damage to minions, helps you clear minion waves. It's kind of hard to last hit when you're a fighter in lane, especially against a ranger. Usually I wouldn't recommend laning a Steel. I'd either recommend supporting with him or maybe even jungling with him. But usually you have more of a natural jungler like Chimera or Rampage on your team. So more often than not, you're going to be supporting a ranger in lane. So, having that extra health, having that extra damage in case, someone tries to engage your ranger, it's definitely good to be able to, deal some damage back and to be able to tank for them and peel for them right off the bat. And usually, if you are supporting, you don't have to use your abilities too much. You just have to make sure and zone out the other enemy in lane. So, my go-to, I guess, would be health pot, health token, and strike token. Now that we got that long-ass thing out of the way, I forgot, the prime card is the Centurion. We are building him tanky, so we do want the Centurion as our prime card. Okay? The first thing we're going to build, of course, is wards after that. Okay, we're going to go with Lord's Ward, alright? And we're actually going to use 3 lesser healths when it comes to Lord's Wards. And I can't add any more cards because I'm full on my deck. You guys know I don't like linking the cards, but you're going to use 3 of these, okay? 3 lesser healths. That's it. And the reason why, and I know Lord's Ward doesn't have a full upgrade bonus, but the reason why you just want these 3 little healths all at the same time in the beginning is because if you think about it, this gives you 100 health, these give you 100 health each as well. That's a total of 400 health on top of whatever you already have in the beginning, like early game, early on. That is a lot of health early game. Like for the first 10 minutes in the game, 400 health is a good bonus. That's definitely a good bonus. It's a good starting amount. If you think about it, every ranger starts with about 35 damage on their basic attacks before they start scaling. Right? By the time they're level 5, it might be like, I don't know, like 45 maybe-ish, for a ranger without any items on. But still, like, let's say, usually with my Sparrow, once I build my first 6 points in a Sparrow, when I get the Brawler's Ward and I put that stuff in, I usually deal about maybe 70 to 80 damage per shot. So this is still, you're able to tank an extra 5 hits from a Sparrow early game. All right, that's not including her passive. We're not talking about technicalities. So all I'm trying to say is, this gives you a good amount of health in the beginning, okay? So definitely put that in there, and you'll be tanky in the beginning, which will set you up so that you can start building damagey. So the next item, the second item we're going to build is going to be the Windcarver Blade, and we're actually going to go with 3 major strikes. You see I already have the 3 major strikes in my deck, 7 out of 10. Right, we're going to go with 3 major strikes. Okay, this is going to be the only damage card we build, which is why we're going to go with majors right off the bat. Okay, it's going to be a 12-point card. It's going to be an expensive card for an early card, but still, we're going to go with this because it's going to give us the damage that we need for the rest of the game. This is going to give us a lot of damage earlier on in the game, so when we're hitting our ults, when we're hitting our shield charges, it's going to deal a really good amount of damage and help a lot in killing enemies and in team fights, doing a ridiculous amount of damage in team fights if you're able to land more than one enemy under your shield. So we're going to go with 3 majors. We're not going to build any attack speed because, again, we want as much damage as possible when it comes to our abilities as well. So that's why we're going with damage. We're not really worrying too much about attack speed because still we are going to be tanky when it comes to Steel. Okay? So we're going to close that. The third and fourth items that we're going to build into now is going to be our tempered plate, and it's going to be our tuned barrier. Okay, so now, of course, obviously, this depends on how much damage the other team has, of what variety. So if they have 4 enemies or 4 heroes that deal energy damage and 1 hero that does physical, then obviously you're going to build tuned barrier first. You're going to prioritize that stuff, right? So again, third and fourth is going to be tuned barrier and tempered plate, and you're going to build these with 2 greater guards or 2 greater barriers, if it's tuned barrier, and then 1 greater health, okay? So we're going to go with 2 greater guards, 1 greater health for tempered plate, and for tuned barrier, we're going to go 2 greater barriers and 1 greater health, okay? You don't need 3 greater barriers. Like, 3 greater barriers is good, okay? That's a lot, and if they have some, added, pierce or penetration of some sort, it will help you resist it a bit, but having that extra 300 health it just overall makes you tankier. Like, even if they do have pierce, still, I found that it's more useful to build a bit more health in relation to armor, especially with this new meta update, because, everybody does less damage anyway, right? The attack damage have gone from 7.6 to 6.5. Attack speed has gone from 6.5 to 5.5 per upgrade, per equipment card. So, honestly, you don't really need to build that much armor at this moment in time as you used to. So that's why, having some health per one of these armor cards is beneficial. Is more beneficial, in my opinion, than having 3 guard cards and 3 barrier cards. Plus, this will just slowly build your health up through mid-game as well, because your 5th item is going to be your health item. You're not going to want to wait till your 5th item to start building health. You want to kind of, build it gradually throughout the game as well. Health is very important for a tank. So, our 5th card is going to be Amulet of the Veteran, and we're going to build this with 3 greater healths. Okay, we're going to go straight health into this. This is going to give us 1,000 health. This is going to be great for late game sustainability, and with all of our armor cards, and then this card being there is just fantastic, okay? And then the last card that we're going to build now is actually going to be Shockwave. Now, this card, for all you veterans, it has been reworked. Okay, it's not 7 points anymore, it's 6 points, and it doesn't do a knock-up anymore. Now, it slows nearby enemies by minus 250 max movement speed. This literally makes them go as slow as possible in the game. Like, this literally brings their movement speed down to almost nothing for 2 seconds. It's just as good, if not better, and the reason why is because of its cooldown. Okay, the old Shockwave, I think, was on like a 90-second cooldown. A 90-second cooldown, I'm pretty sure, or a 100-second cooldown. This one is on cooldown for 45 seconds. That's quicker than your ultimate if you're not building any cooldown reduction on steel, which with this deck, we're not really, because you shouldn't really be using your ultimate unless it's in a team fight anyway, or unless you're taking a tower and you need to. But anyway, this card is incredible with steel now. More than ever, to be honest, because think about it, right? You engage with Steel's ultimate, right? You use his ultimate. If you're pretty decent with him, you'll be able to aim his ultimate and land at least 1 person, if not 2, in the middle of a mosh, right? In the middle of a mosh. Now, imagine a howitzer on your team pulling up to do his ultimate at the same time, right? Now, that's already a gnarly-ass combo. But imagine now, when you land with your Steel's ultimate, and then you pop your Shockwave right as they get out of their stun, right? Now they're slowed for 2 more seconds. They're not getting out of that howitzer ult. They're not getting out of that gadget ult for a good couple of ticks. They're not getting out of that Gideon ult, right? So what I'm trying to say is that for team fights, this card is still very, very, very useful. But it's not crucial anymore. Okay, before, people would build Shockwave literally as their first card because it was just so OP. It was a knock-up, so it would cancel other people's ultimates and abilities, like Gideon's ultimate. It could cancel it could cancel Twin Blast ultimate, stuff like that. But now it's not as crucial anymore, which is why we build it last. But in endgame team fights, this thing is pretty ridiculously good. And it could change a team fight and swing it to be able, even if you only use this card in one team fight, that one team fight could lead you to destroying the enemy core. So that's about it, guys. That's all 60 points. All right, I did the math. You guys can double check the math if I did it wrong, but I'm pretty sure that is. You have Lord's Ward, which is 3, then 3 points of lesser health in there, so that's 6. Windcarver Blade is a total of 12 once you put in 3 major strikes, so that's 18. Both Tune Barrier and Temper Plate are 12 points each. Okay, so that ends up being 42. Amulet of the Veteran is 12 points as well. That ends up giving you 54. And then Shockwave is 6 points. That ends up giving you a solid 60. So there you guys have it. That is Britik's build. That is the build that got me to Masters through all the Platinums and Diamond opposition that I had to go through. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this build. Hopefully it helps you out. If it does, drop a like, comment, subscribe. I would love to read comments of how you guys use this build or what games you got using this build or other stuff like that. You know, I'm still getting comments on like my Iggy and Scorch build being like, oh my god, you know, this build is amazing. I just totally wrecked shop with it. Thank you so much. You know, I love hearing when, you know, you guys actually enjoy my builds and it actually helps a lot. And if you have any criticism with the build, if you have any, you know, modifications that you make yourself to your own build when you grab mine, let me know down in the comment section below as well. That'd be pretty cool to know, okay? Because everybody builds their heroes differently. This is just the way that I built mine, and this is what has worked for me and my playstyle. So again, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, make sure y'all have a wonderful day. Feel the steel.